Hi, Trish here. I wanted to speak to you today about a project that's coming up through the council that's it's dear to my heart at the moment that I need to get this information out to everybody, because even though the council has put the information out on their website and they've just recently sent out little pamphlets in the mail about it, I don't think very many of the residents of the City of Wyndham know what this plan is about and what's involved. So I want to have a bit of a discussion today about it so I can get some information out there. We need to let the people know, because they're just beginning a consultation process, a public consultation process, the first one being tomorrow night. It's about 5 of them or so over the month of February that they've posted on the website, that they're asking residents to come and ask questions about it. So it's important that we get the information out there, because what they're proposing in this plan will have a direct and profound impact on the City of Wyndham, what it's going to look like. This plan is set out to go to 2040, so they're expecting the items within this plan to be done by then. And they're following the plan that was initiated by the City of Melbourne, the 2050 plan. So they're just adopting the same idea. And for those of you who don't know, it's based on the premise of 20-minute neighbourhoods here in Australia, and the City of Wyndham's just one of the councils that's adopting this plan. So here we go. I went onto the website, I downloaded the proposed plan, the summary plan, the map, and all the information that they had up there. I'm not going to go through the whole thing in this video, that would take too long. So what I've done is I've pulled out the important bits that you need to know in small bite-sized chunks of information. So the first thing that you'll see when you go onto the website is the plan, or little map that they've put together to show people how they are expecting the City of Wyndham to look in the future. So you've got your middle centre of the city there, central, which will be the heart. And then as you see all these pink dots around, there's 6 of them, what they call pulses, but essentially really they're just meant to be 20-minute neighbourhoods. At the moment they look at the City of Wyndham as being a 2-hour and 20-minute city, and they want to make it a 20-minute city. And you'll understand what I mean by that as we go further into this. But there you go. You can stop that yourself and have a closer look at it. And obviously you're welcome to jump onto the City of Wyndham website to get all this information for yourself. There you go. There's the start of it. Now this particular map, if you have a closer look at it, states that it is called Delivering Big Ideas for Wyndham 2040. So they have 6 ideas that they want to implement to make this plan work. When you first go into the plan, you have a look at the vision of the plan. I've made notes here so I can go through them. The buzzwords that they're using in the vision statement are words such as safe. They want to make it a safe community, connected, inclusive, a natural environment to be preserved. They want to make local employment a factor. They want us to be self-sufficient. They want us to get around easily, and they want us to be green and sustainable. Now, that all sounds great. Great, you know. Buzzwords don't really mean a lot though. When you say green and sustainable, that means different things to different people, but you'll understand what they mean by green and sustainable as we go further into the plan. Their ideas are actually quite severe. So, like I said earlier, they've adopted 20-minute neighbourhoods, they're going to call them. And they've adopted it from the City of Melbourne plan, the 2017 to 2050 plan. And so what they've done is they've just followed that. All the councils are going to adopt this plan because the City of Melbourne has okayed it. And I will go further on about that as to how that came about later. So one of the important things they've also pointed out after these 6 ideas is the COVID impact. So let's have a look. So the 6 ideas that they're talking about within this plan are, number 1, they want it to be like a village with pulses. So a heart and pulses, they called it, obviously to match the heart. They want to bring in a new transport network that's local, that brings you around the City of Wyndham, should make access easier. They want to turn Derrim Road into a huge boulevard with trees and make it all nice down the centre of the city. And they want to, the catch cry is livable residential neighbourhoods. And of course, they want to connect the green lungs, the coast and the country all together with the urban living in the city centre. That's what their ideas are within that plan. And you'll see that on the map listed that way. So that gives you an idea of what they're looking at. After that, then they start talking about what their goals are within this plan. So there are 11 of them, and without going into great detail, I'm just going to run through each of the 11 goals, and these are the goals they're expecting to reach by 2040. So the first goal is going to be they want to push people to live in the urban areas. So they will find a way to move anybody who's living on the outskirts in the country, and they're going to push them into the city. One of the ways they're going to do this is by turning all of that living into public spaces, green spaces, in which they'll just tell you you can't live there. And if you don't believe me, please go and have a look at the plan, because it actually explains that that's the type of thing they're going to do. Goal number 2, they want to push people closer to city living. So they want to push all the people into the one area and have denser housing, have you all living in the one area. Goal 3, they want 70% of people to work in Wyndham. So they want you to work within 20 minutes of where you live. Currently, I don't see how that's going to happen, because currently about 63% of the people work outside of Wyndham. There's definitely not enough jobs here. And they say that's what they want to do. They want to make more jobs in the future so that people will want to live near where they work. It sounds great, but it's going to be a very difficult task, I'd say. Goal 4, by 2040, they want at least 25% of the people in the City of Wyndham to use public transport. So they're going to find a way to push you into using that instead of using your car. Let's face it, if you're not going to drive out of Wyndham, then you're not going to need your car. That's what they're looking at. Goal 5, they want to plant more trees. Currently, the canopy around Wyndham is about 3%. And they want to up that by 2040 to at least 35%. That's a lot of trees. And they want to be able to try and green a lot of the areas back up again and push us in. We've never been that green. If you've noticed that with us, we've got very flat land out here, more fields rather than trees, but that's their plan. They want to plant more trees. Sounds good on the surface. We need more trees. Good for you. But to get that canopy up to 35%, they're going to have to move a lot of people out of those areas to plant those trees. So keep that in mind. Goal 6, they believe that it's their right, I guess, to make people move. They don't want you driving your car anymore. They want you to walk and to cycle everywhere, because they believe that people are really unhealthy, and it's their job to tell you that you've got to get up off your butt and walk. I don't know why they think that that is something they feel they have the right to do, to tell people that they can control what you do about your health. But anyway, that's one of the things that they're going to try to do. Goal 7, by 2040, no more than 50% of the households will need 2 or more cars. So they're expecting by 2040 to restrict you down in the number of vehicles that you own, hopefully down to nothing is what they want, but that's what the plan says. That's pretty bold, 50% down, 50% of you, less vehicles, because they feel, well, if you can walk there, why do you need your car? That's going to be their catch cry, obviously. Goal 8, They want at least 10% of the people within the City of Wyndham to walk or cycle to work. Currently, it's 1.4%. But so that's again another bold figure, isn't it, to go up to 10%. Goal 9, they intend to definitely open up more public open spaces and more what they call, I guess, like civic squares, areas where the community can use more spaces. At the moment, you can see in Werribee we have something like that already in the city centre, but they're looking to have more of those around at all the other sites that they're going to open up. Goal 10, they want to become the most walkable neighbourhood. So there's a plan out there through the government where they're going to assist them in building up all of these walkways where you can walk and cycle, and they want and it's going to be like a competition. So the best, most walkable path and everything like that. So again, more about walking and cycling than cars. They're not going to be focusing on cars at all by the sounds of things. And if so, there'll be electric cars and there won't be many of those either. And goal 11, on the map that I pulled up earlier, there's around the map a lot of local train tracks and sites that they want to build. They have a list of them actually that they want to build. And they say, according to this plan, they're going to build them all by 2040. So what they're going to say is that, well, there's easy ways for you to get around the neighbourhood. You can walk, you can ride your bike, you can just jump on the train. You do not need a car. That's essentially the plan. So they're the 11 goals within that plan that they're expecting to reach by 2040, which isn't that far away. And then on top of that, one of the things they mentioned within the report that I wanted to point out, how they're going to do this. Because the council, as far as I understand it, here's my notes, the council's jobs at the moment are to deal with your rates and valuations of your house, to pick up the rubbish, to look after the local laws within the area, your waste, your roads, your services, your library, youth services, parks, pets, aged, disability, children, community sport, that type of thing. It's very specific what they are supposed to do. However, we do know that over the years that's crept up and become more and more invasive into our lives. So that's why they feel they can go further and start pushing these other things for us. So on top of that, they then want to use their planning schemes to then tell you what you can and can't do with your property. So I'm in property. If any of you know my background, I am a conveyancer. I've been in the property industry for more than 20 years. So that is my background. I know a lot about it. And essentially under the planning schemes, the councils use those to put these bylaws over your blocks. So if you think you totally own your block and you can do whatever you want with it, think again, because anybody who owns a block knows that is not the case. You have to ask permission pretty much now to do anything on your own block. So how they're going to do it, they're going to alter the planning schemes and just add these things in to say that you either, they'll just rezone an area and make it not residential anymore and make it public open space. And that's how they're going to force people to do what they want to do or move them where they want them to go. Because up until now, they've done it slowly. But now, obviously, within this plan, they're going to speed up the process now. And it's going to be harsh and abrasive for some people. Because they're going to force people to do something they don't want to do. That's essentially what's coming. But they'll use the climate catastrophe to tell you that that's why it needs to be done. So this is their plan. Mind you, when they put this plan, I'd never heard about it before, but they basically say within the plan that this is what the people wanted, that they interviewed people, they spoke to people, and this is what the public wants. They've never asked me. They've never asked anybody that I know. So, no, I don't believe that that's exactly where they got this information from. And I'm going to come to that as to where they actually got it from. On top of that, within the plan, they've also mentioned an item called a place intervention logics. They're called PILs. So you'll hear more of them in the future. What they mean, according to their plan, is they're going to prioritise, guide and inspire this change. Fancy words for We're going to make it happen whether you like it or not. So PILs, that's a new one, a new term. And then let me see, what was the next thing I want to discuss? Yes, a couple of other things that I wanted to point out. They will have within this plan electric vehicle policies, so that's coming whether you like it or not. And on page 29 of the summary, they also mentioned once in the plan that they are going to collect smart city data. When they talk about smart cities, they're not talking about that the city itself is smart. It's an acronym. It's basically talking about technology, surveillance, cameras, facial recognition. They're going to put systems in that recognise your number plates. So they're going to know where you've been, where you're going. They need consent currently for that, but eventually it will be just everywhere. So when you're out on the roads of Wyndham, have a look for these cameras. They're already nearly at every intersection now. Not that we've been told about it, but they are there. I can definitely go further into these, but I won't be doing any more of that. But the last thing, last couple of things. One is, got that in the mail today. So they're finally reaching out publicly to people instead of it just being on their website. So if you can, please by all means attend one of these public consultation dates throughout February. You need to go there, make yourself familiar with what's going on, ask questions, push back, because I don't think people actually understand where this is going. You don't want this. You don't want a city where they're totally surveilling you and telling you where you can go, where you can work, how you live. I just can't see that most people would be happy about that. So that's one thing. And the last thing I wanted to point out is a little bit of research that I have done is where this all came about. And one of the things that I found out was that a lot of this has come from the City of Melbourne, so the main city in the CBD. They joined an organisation called ICLEI, I-C-L-E-I, ICLEI.org. And this particular association is a group of, they are a worldwide organisation in which all the councils around the world, over 2,500 of them, have signed up to this organisation. This organisation supports people, or supports them, in coming up with a sustainable, climate-happy environment for everybody to live in. So they give the ideas to the councils adopt them, which is what the City of Melbourne has done, and the City of Melbourne actually runs an office by them in Bourke Street in the city. So they're very heavily involved. So they've adopted these ideas from them, and now they're passing those ideas on to all the councils within Melbourne. So I beg to differ when they say within this plan that they asked us what we wanted and this is what we wanted, that we asked for this, because I certainly wasn't asked and I don't believe that. So we need to push back now because at the moment it's a proposed plan. They need for us to be all okay with it so they can start implementing it. They're looking to implement it by the end of the year. I'm going to be attending the first one, which is tomorrow night myself. That's an online one. They have a couple of online ones and a couple of 3 public ones. And so, you know, if you want to attend those, you can. They're listed on that brochure that's in the mail and on the website. And I'll just list them for you now. So they have 2 at the Civic Centre on the Princess Highway in Werribee on Wednesday the 15th of February at 6 and Wednesday the 22nd of February at 6. They have one at the Encore Event Centre on Saturday the 18th of February at 9:30 in the morning. And they have one at the Penrose Community Centre in Tarneet on Thursday the 23rd of February at 6 p.m. And 2 online ones, one on Thursday the 9th at 6, that's tomorrow, and one on Thursday the 16th of February at 6. So please attend one of those. On top of that, you can fill in a survey online at the Wyndham City Council website. You can register on the website for any of these meetings. You need to get out there. You need to familiarise yourself with it. Got any questions? Please ask me. I can point you in the right direction if it's not on the website. I will also be putting links beneath this video of places you can go to get further information if you want to do more reading. I'm looking to start up an action group. I want to connect with other people within the City of Wyndham who've got the same concerns I do. So please do not hesitate to contact me if you want to discuss this. Thank you.